The movie of Donnie Darko has very interesting points of starting the discussion of whether destiny or fate is real. And this is something I have actually had a conversation about with someone recently. If destiny and fate is real, then we lose the idea of any true free will. Free will is an illusion of choice, as we have a predetermined path set ahead of us. And if there's a predetermined path set in front of us, then we're all just slaves to our own fate. As of the time I wrote this, I have done a little research on Donnie Darko, and according to the book, The Philosophy of Time Travel, it states that there is a predetermined destiny. We just need to travel along with it. It doesn't say who determines this, but this opens the gates for me in such a cool way. This derails the topic of conversation a bit, but destiny is real within this universe. Whether it is determined by God or gods or the universe itself is unknown to us. But what happens when we stray away from that? Well, from my understanding, this straying away from the path leads to an alternate timeline being created, called a tangent timeline, and that is discovered via an artifact. In Donnie Darko, that artifact is the jet engine. In order for Donnie to collapse the tangent timeline without creating a black hole that will destroy the prime timeline, he has to create a specific order of events that ultimately lead to the jet engine traveling through time and space into the prime timeline to correct things. That is a very simplified way to look at Donnie Darko, so forgive me if you're confused. But if you haven't seen the movie, why are you watching an analysis of it? So, if destiny is real, does that mean we have free will? It is a topic of conversation within Donnie Darko itself, but Donnie explains that there is free will so long as we follow God's channel. But that itself is contradictory. If we had free will and had the option to not follow God's channel, what would happen? Well, this is how I feel a tangent timeline is created. Someone ignores God's channel and chooses against their will, becoming independent and creating now a new tangent timeline. This is represented by the artifact. Now the artifact is the universe-ending offender. But what if the higher power that is ultimately in charge of the timeline is creating the world-ending catastrophe? And it could very much be possible, as we see higher power manipulate everyone and everything to its advantage to ensure that Donnie corrects the timeline, using people alive or dead to influence his decisions. Which ultimately leads to my point, that there is free will in this universe, but the higher power wants us to follow their designated channel. There had to have been something someone did or said in this timeline that caused the higher power to interfere, or alternatively, they only care about keeping the timeline going and only ever dare intervene when there is a catastrophic event occurring, which would make sense if the artifacts didn't just randomly appear out of nowhere. I believe that the prime timeline has always meant to have Donnie Darko die. We see at the last part of the movie, Donnie wakes up from a dream and is laughing, appearingly at nothing. But looking at the book, The Philosophy of Time Travel, we see that people will dream about their tangent timelines. So, Donnie may have seen his timeline and still chose to die, alone no less, after explicitly stating in the movie that he was afraid of dying alone. I think Donnie knew that his final moments were going to be in his bedroom one last time, and there was no more directions from this higher power. And maybe we do just have free will, and Donnie finally wanted to rest with an enlightened journey he experienced. But we can never know, because no matter the intent of the story, it is up to our interpretations and discussions to determine the movie's outcome. Anyways, my question doesn't have a real answer. Is there free will or not? There's a dialogue to be had either way, but in the end, it's up to us. Donnie may be the only person with free will, or maybe it's nobody. Or maybe everyone has free will, and the higher power only manipulates people occasionally to get the outcome they want. Donnie's story ultimately told by him, giving us an unreliable narrator with obvious mental health issues. So the truth is something I'm leaving up to you. Thanks for watching another Yonha Media video. I appreciate you guys for watching this. I recently watched Donnie Darko a while ago and I loved it. I wanted to talk about it because I felt like there was such a great discussion to be had about it. I know this video wasn't very long. Maybe I'll make an expansive video about it later. I have some other ideas that I'd like to talk about, but if you enjoyed and you want to support us, you can use our Patreon, join our Discord, or you can even buy our sexy merch. Anyways, ciao y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!